Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. Very important post. This is about more than sports. This is about important symbolism and the foreshadowing of a major war to come. If you're new to my channel, I talk about how the world of professional sports is scripted and it is all part of a ritual that has to do with current events and current history and what's going on in the world. Before I get to the significance of the Broncos traveling to the White House on June 6th as the Super Bowl winner, I want to go back in time and revisit some things from the past just in case you're new here. This article from the USA Today, their sports section, The Big Lead, made fun of me in January 27th. And what they were making fun of are my predictions for the Super Bowl. I had predicted months before it happened that it would be Broncos over the Carolina Panthers for the race war symbolism of a white horse and a black panther. The 49ers were hosting the Super Bowl not far from Oakland, where the Black Panther Party was established by Huey P. Newton, a blood relative of Cam Newton, the quarterback of the Black Panthers. So I made this prediction. Broncos would defeat Panthers. Von Miller would be the MVP. The reason I picked Von Miller is because he wears the number 58. 58 is very important to the Freemasons who are doing all of this scripting by the numbers, who run the pro leagues, who run government, who run media. 58. The name Huey P. Newton in Gematria equals 58. Freemasonry equals 58. Oakland equals 58, where Huey P. Newton established the Black Panther Party. In this Super Bowl, Cam Newton became the 58th quarterback to start in a Super Bowl. Obama is currently the 44th president, but in history there were 14 presidents before him not recognized before George Washington. 14 presidents not recognized before George Washington. You add them to the 44 that Obama is, that makes Obama 58. And what's interesting about that is when Obama first became president, he reopened Ford's Theater where Lincoln was assassinated. Ford's Theater in Gematria equals 58. A lot of the presidential deaths where the people have died, they've died in locations with 58 Gematria. Freemasonry coding, very important, bigger topic. But anyway, here's USA Today mocking me before the game. There was never an apology article or a follow-up. You think in light of being aware of this information, hey, a guy that predicted all that, maybe we should do a real article on him. But you're not going to get that from the mainstream. The mainstream is here to deceive people, to lead them astray, to dismiss the truth, to program people to accept lies. And that's why there's this article making fun of me. It also ends with a major mocking by showing an episode of The Simpsons called The Stonecutters, where they sing the song, We Do, We Do. If you've never seen the Simpsons episode, We Do, look it up. We Do has Gematria 47. The first Super Bowl happened in the 47th season of the NFL. It's a number of foundation, very important to the Freemasons. This article, it mocks me, and then it gives a tribute to Knowing Eyes, saying that I'm right. And I don't need to argue that anymore. It's all happened. And anybody who doubts what I'm saying, go back and watch all the videos I made from October on. So anyway, also as I was pointing out in the Super Bowl, I was showing how there were all these Chicago connections. The NFL draft before the season was in Chicago for the first time since '64, I think. It was the 50th Super Bowl, but the 46th of the modern era. It was hosted in Levi Stadium, Super Bowl 50, the 46th of the modern era. The first four Super Bowls, the two leagues hadn't fully finished doing their thing. Anyhow, Levi Stadium equals 46, Chicago equals 46, Sacrifice equals 46. I explained before the Super Bowl a lot of celebrities were dropping dead with connections to the Super Bowl. Since the Super Bowl, I've been explaining how all these celebrity deaths still connect. Before the Super Bowl even happened, I said because of the numbers on this Super Bowl, it following on the 38th day of the year, the word death equals 38, I said expect a lot of celebrity sacrifice, and I talked about more, which we'll get to. But anyway, in regards to the Chicago connections, get this. The Carolina Panthers came into the Super Bowl as the favorites 15-1, and they were coached by Ron Rivera, who was on the '85 Chicago Bears that defeated the Patriots 46-10, 46, Chicago 46, with the revolutionary 4-6 defense, a lot like 46, winning 46-10 with the revolutionary 4-6 defense. The reason 85 is so significant and Chicago winning that year is because National Football League equals 85, and the NFL began with 2 teams in Chicago. One of those teams is the Cardinals, that's now the Arizona Cardinals, who the Panthers defeated on the way to the Super Bowl. If you're interested in this topic, go back and watch all the videos I did in the playoffs. So much coding. The games are scripted to the point. I can't emphasize it enough. In the college championship, which I said was directly connected to the Super Bowl, the total score summed to 85 points. Carolina lost in the college championship and the Super Bowl. The college championship, the QB was wearing the number 85 on his wrist for some reason. I think we know why. And the other parallels between the Super Bowl and the outcomes of the college championship and the Super Bowl is that here was the setup for both games. The team that won had a white quarterback. In the NFL, it was Peyton Manning, who was all washed up. And in college, I can't even think of his name. But I know what his name sums to in gematria. It sums to 83, just like football. Peyton Manning born on the 83rd day of the year. Meanwhile, on the Carolina teams, place of slavery, you have these black, super dynamic quarterbacks that are amazing, that are a million times better than the quarterback that they're going against, and they both lose the game? The quarterback for Alabama couldn't even throw the ball. I don't know how he was out there. He must have been born to be. It was embarrassing watching him. But look, both the black quarterbacks go down that are super skilled. It's because it's all scripted. It's all part of a ritual. It's all sick. It's all part of the race war. Go back and watch my videos on the college championship. I guaranteed Alabama would win that game, and I don't use that word very often. Oftentimes I say, I think this is what's going to happen. I could be wrong, but I guaranteed Alabama would win their 16th championship in the beginning of 2016. Well, anyway, I was talking about all this stuff, right, for months and telling people how the Super Bowl was synced up. Well, what happens after the Super Bowl? They put Obama on TV with Stephen Colbert talking about how he knew the Broncos were going to win. He's the president. He knows everything. Then what do? Then they have him call and thank or congratulate the Broncos. I want you to listen to what Obama says to open up his congratulations. Notice it's the coach, Gary Kubiak, and DeMarcus Ware, who was 33 years old at the time. Very special number to the Masons. I also want to point out that the coaches, the Carolina Panthers and the Denver Broncos, they both replaced John Fox. John Fox coached in Carolina. Then he went to Denver. Now he's coaching the Bears. He was coaching the Bears, the Chicago Bears last year, while the 2 coaches who replaced him met in the Super Bowl. It's all scripted. These are all tributes. It's Masonic rituals. This is how they do it. Let's listen to what Obama says his comparison of the Broncos is.
Coach, Mr. President, how are you? Well, not as good as you, but I want to let you know that that's about as good a defense as I've seen since the 85 Bears. Yeah, that was something else.
Yeah, what a joke. Did you hear it? I don't know if it's loud enough. That's as loud as I can turn it up. Macs have shitty speakers. He says, you guys have the best defense I've seen since the 85 Bears. And who just won the MVP? Number 58 on the Broncos. It's just such a joke, and it just makes me so sick, Think about all the people that invest all their emotions and time, and they don't realize these games are scripted to the point. They are. And the powers that be are laughing at us. And if you want to deny that, don't criticize me. I don't need to hear any of your sarcastic comments like this. Go back and watch my video on this. I show the Simpsons clip and what I have to say about it. But now let's get to the main event. Why this is happening on June 6th. The first Super Bowl was at the end of the 66th season, the 47th year of the NFL. In the Bible, Revelation is the 66th book, and Revelation is the book of prophecy. And as I continually explain, the Masons, the Zionists, they use the book of prophecy for coding all of their scripted crap, from news stories to sports. Look at this. From the day of the Super Bowl, February 7th to June 6th, 121 days, hosted by the 49ers. Revelation in gematria equals 121 the big way, 49 the small way. If you want to know how to do this, watch my How to Gematria video. in the description. This year's Super Bowl hosted by the 49ers in Santa Clara on the 121st meridian. And now the winning team meeting 121 days later. Warriors in gematria equals 121. They're in the NBA championship right now. They're originally from Philadelphia. Philadelphia is named from Revelation, the book of prophecy. Warriors, the small way, is 49. 121 and 49. Just like Revelation. Warriors from Philly, Philly named after Revelation. So, also with regards to June 6th, if you write out 50 as a word, it has gematria of 66. You know, the NFL made a big deal about this year's Super Bowl, painting the logos gold on the field. 50th anniversary of the Super Bowl. When you write out 50, it sums to 66, like the season of the first Super Bowl. San Francisco in gematria also equals 50. They hosted Super Bowl 50. Houston Texans equals 51. They're hosting Super Bowl 51. I don't normally bet on sports, but I finally want to get these assholes back. They did burglarize my house in November 2014 and stole a lot. I aim to get some of that money back. I did go down to Vegas this year and did something very rare. I don't like to bet, but I placed a bet on the Super Bowl. Pretty sure I know what this year's Super Bowl is. If you want to know, check out the year 1958. So anyway, Denver going to the White House to meet Barack Obama on June 6th. Look at Denver and Barack Obama, both 68. And I've been talking an awful lot about 68, a number getting coded very much. 1968, a tragic year for this nation. That's the year Bobby Kennedy was assassinated on June 6th. The 156th day of the year, Robert Kennedy equals 156, dead by the numbers, supposedly. Martin Luther King Jr. assassinated on 4/4. Obama's the 44th president. The first president to ever die in office died on 4/4. April 4th, 1841, William Henry Harrison. Martin Luther King Jr. dead on April 4th, 4/4. Obama, first black president, number 44. Last president to die in office, JFK, the 44th term president. '68, that's the same year 911 was made the national emergency dialing code. World Trade Center construction began. George W. Bush graduated from Yale and Skull and Bones, the Masonic Order. 33 years later, 9/11 would happen. He would be president. George W. Bush's birthday, 68 days before 9/11. All those 68 connections. That's why Uncle Numbnuts was the president. That's how scripted this world is that we're living in. You think the sports games being rigged is a joke? Wait until you find out that everything going on in this nation is a scripted joke. I also want to point out that San Francisco, with the S exceptions, you add +9 more for each S. San Francisco equals 50 without it, 68 with it. Denver won in San Francisco. San Francisco Stadium in gematria sums to the same thing as Denver Broncos. Something I pointed out before the game happened. All the things I was showing that was rigged for the Broncos this year. Broncos lost in Super Bowl 24, 55-10. When the Broncos were 55 years old and John Elway, who lost in that Super Bowl, which was this year, they won it in San Francisco. The games of the past were scripted. You learn the coding. You can tell the future. Easier said than done. With regards to these parallels to 68 and Martin Luther King Jr., this year, June 6th, because it's a leap year, it's the 157th day of the year. When Bobby Kennedy died, it was the 156th. But anyway, you know what? Now that I think about it, that was a leap year as well. I'm wrong about that. It was a leap year in 68. I guess it was the same. But United States, gematria of 157, just like Lorraine Motel, another very special number, a number coded all over Lincoln's death. My book's almost finished. You can have all this information in your hands shortly. Bobby Kennedy, though, was shot June 5th, which was the 156th day of that year, then died at 1:44 in the morning. If you write out 44, it sums to 144. If you write out April 4th, it sums to 144. Killer in Jewish gematria equals 144. Bobby Kennedy dead at 1:44 in the morning. His brother JFK dead on the first day of Sagittarius. Sagittarius equals 144, the astrology sign. With regards to RFK being shot on the 156th day, again, just show you this. Robert Kennedy, 33. Kennedy equals 33. Massachusetts, where the Kennedy family's from. They got DeMarcus Ware there to get the thank you, 33 years old. Kubiak, the coach, he had been drafted 33 years earlier by the Broncos in 1983, then wins the Super Bowl with them in 2016. All important numbers. So anyway, this symbolism, the white horse, revelation. Let's read about the rider on a white horse from Revelation. Hopefully you can follow that parallel. Then I saw heaven opened, and behold, a white horse. The one sitting on it is called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he judges and makes war. There's been all this war foreshadowing. You know, we're living in this post-9/11 agenda. Ongoing headlines for war with false boogeymen. And this is the kind of stuff I've been trying to warn my fellow man about since September 11th, that we got to wake up. We're being led to destruction. It's war, and more war, needlessly. His eyes are like a flame of fire, and on his head are many diadems, and he has a name written that no one knows but himself. Think about the horse at the Denver airport with its red eyes. If you have not seen that, look up the horse sculpture at the Denver airport. Very bizarre. He is clothed in a robe dipped in blood, and the name by which he is called is the Word of God. And the armies of heaven, arrayed in fine linen, white and pure, were following him on white horses. From his mouth comes a sharp sword with which to strike down the nations, and he will rule them with a rod of iron. He will tread the winepress of the fury of the wrath of God the Almighty. On his robe and on his thigh he has a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. The word king has gematria 41, just like USA. The name Barack Obama has gematria 41. 41, a very important number at this moment during the time of the NBA Finals. If you haven't seen my work, I've been explaining the Joe Jellybean Bryant prophecy. And here's what that is. That's the father of Kobe Bryant. He was drafted by the Golden State Warriors 41 years ago. Golden State in gematria equals 41. Kobe Bryant equals 41. 41's the 13th prime number. Think about King James on the Cavs. King equals 41. LeBron James is in his 13th season. These numbers have been huge this year. This is what it's all about. Think about King James, the King James version of the Bible. This is where all the symbolism comes from. This is what all the coding's about. And I don't understand it fully. I share what I know. I look for other minds out there who know more. If you didn't see my first video predicting a Broncos Super Bowl, it came from what you're looking at right here. This was a story out of Los Angeles at the end of October. Supposedly a Jewish man got in a single car accident on the freeway, ejected himself out the back window of the car, and landed on this freeway sign at Colorado Street. Colorado in gematria equals 38. Colorado's the 38th state. The upcoming Super Bowl, February 7th, was on the 38th day of the year. There were some other clues out there. Once I saw this, I just said, okay, this is it. The Broncos are going to the Super Bowl. This is symbolism for all the sacrifices to come. This exit 142 tripped me out down here because President Obama equals 142. He ran on hope and change. Hope equals 44, so does the word kill. Change equals 38, so does the word death. And in light of the history of this nation and people dying by those numbers, very concerning. The final score of the Super Bowl was 34 points this year. The word murder equals 34. The number 139 is the 34th prime. Ford's Theater also equals 139. I've been saying, pay attention. All this cluing, it might be foreshadowing for what's to come for the president. And now with this coming to the White House on June 6th, with all this stuff, it just makes me wonder. Perhaps the president will be just fine and it'll be somebody else. But this narrative is going somewhere, and you have to think, they're doing something that's going to provoke, cause an incident that they can say, okay, now it's time for war. The assassination of a president by a terrorist. You know, we saw that for the beginning of World War I, right? But this is really what's going on in the world, and if you think it's lunacy, well, sorry to say, from this information, I'm making predictions that would put Nostradamus to shame. And I don't say that to be arrogant, I say it because it's the truth, you know? Just to give you another taste of how scripted the world of pro sports is and college sports, check this out with regards to Peyton Manning and him winning the Super Bowl at 39 at the end of his NFL career, while his father's 66 years old, Archie Manning. You know, Archie Manning played for the Saints, the Aints, who never won anything. The Saints won their first Super Bowl against his oldest son, Peyton. Scripted. I don't know how people don't see it. Anyway, here's what's up. The year after Peyton Manning went to the NFL, drafted number 1 by the Colts, his Tennessee Volunteers went to the Fiesta Bowl and won with a score. Uh-oh, did I not put it up here? 23-16. They won 23-16, combined score of 39 points. Think about how Manning would go on to win the Super Bowl at the age of 39 in the year 2016. Also, 23 is interesting because the number 83 is the 23rd prime number. Football equals 83. Manning's born on the 83rd day of the year. This year, his birthday followed the Super Bowl by 46 days. 46th Super Bowl of the modern era. So anyway, 39 points. That game was in Arizona. Arizona has the gematria of 39. With regards to Peyton Manning going to Tennessee, Tennessee has gematria of 52 and 106 like prophecy. I just did a video yesterday on the death of the 19-year-old Vanderbilt baseball player who was born on the 106th day of the year, who drowned in a lake with 52 gematria in Tennessee. Prophecy, revelation, the book of prophecy, the powers that be always figure out a way to intertwine their prophecy narrative. This is huge to them. This is what it's all about. Fiesta Bowl, which they won with a combined score of 39 points, also has gematria of 39. The year prior, he had gotten blown out, Peyton Manning, his final season at Tennessee, by Nebraska in the Orange Bowl. Orange Bowl also has that gematria of 39. You know, sometimes I think you got to lose to win in the future. And none of these scores are arbitrary. 42 equals Freemason. Go look at your history of bowl games and how many times the winning teams won with 42 points. Also, go look at how many times the losing team has lost with 17 points. The word kill the small way, 17, I think it has something to do with that. Because a lot of times football teams will lose with 17 points. Something I was talking about in 2014 and many times since. But all these games truly are this scripted. To the point, year after year, college and pro. Now, at the same time, I want to share a personal story of mine to show that sometimes these numbers organically occur. You know, I shared how earlier this week I got bad news in my family. My sister diagnosed with cancer at the age of 44 on a date with 44 numerology, when the word cancer itself equals 44. She was diagnosed June 2nd, which can be written 2/6. The word cancer the small way is 26. I think my sister will be okay. You know, sad news. But it came by the numbers, and it blew my mind when it happened because this is stuff I've been talking about for a long time. And something I recently witnessed is the first time I ever went to a 49ers game in San Francisco. It really trips me out now looking at this. I went to the 49ers versus Eagles game on October 10th, 2010. 10-10-10. And I got invited down to see a friend who I hadn't seen in a while who moved from Seattle to San Francisco in 2007. And he got us tickets to the game, and I got to meet some of his friends. Anyway, I didn't know about numerology or gematria then, or that Revelation, or that Philadelphia had been named from Revelation, or what 49 had to do with Revelation. But look at this. The 49ers game against the Eagles from Philadelphia on 10-10. Revelation in Jewish gematria is 10-10. And with regards to the Eagles, they also tie into the 49 picture, the team from Philadelphia. It was the 49ers versus the Eagles. And it was just a really bizarre game. It made me like professional sports a lot less, just being at this game. I grew up a 49er fan. I'm from Portland, Oregon, neutral territory. My dad liked the 49ers. I just followed in his footsteps. But anyway, when I was at this game, well, I had a lot of fun before the game at the tailgate, making food, talking to people. That was great. But at the actual game, I could not believe what I witnessed. I've been up to games here in Seattle, and it's never been like this. But this game at the 49ers and Eagles was bloodshed in the stands. In my own section, you know, when you're at a sports game, probably got, I don't know, 300, 400 people in your section. There must have been at least 6 arrests over the course of the game and just so many fights between Eagles and 49ers fans. I even saw women tearing each other apart. It would have put the UFC to shame. And I was thinking, what are we doing here? I mean, we're watching a game and you guys are killing each other over it. And this is really what sports does to us as a society. You know, people drink, they get all emotionally worked up, they want to hurt somebody. The powers that be know what they're doing. And even these things that we look at as innocent, you know, they're really not good for us. They're poisonous. As men, we should be out at the park playing football with each other, you know, not killing each other, but having some fun, get some exercise. Not sitting on our asses watching the game, you know, getting so mad over the rigged, disappointing, upsetting outcome. Just think about how often in pro sports something really dumb ends the game and you're just so frustrated over that. Don't you get it? It's because it's scripted that way. I still remember how the Giants got into the Super Bowl over 49ers when Alex Smith was there. 4 fumbles from Kyle McDonald, the same player. What was he doing on the field at the end of the game, you know? It's because it's a joke. That's the guy that was made to kill it for the 49ers in that game. I remember Vernon Davis, and I forget the offensive lineman in that game, laughing on the sidelines when the camera went to him after Kyle Williams' 4th fumble. And I was like, man, don't these guys care? I guess they don't care because they're millionaires. Fans are, you know, breaking their TVs, pounding another beer. The guys playing the game that should care, they're laughing on the sideline. And the fans don't get it. Here's from the Super Bowl to Manning's birthday, born on the 83rd day of the year, football 83. You know what day Tom Brady's birthday is? August 3rd. It's such a joke, you guys. Go watch my video on Tom Brady and the Patriots after September 11th by the numbers. Just show you football real quick. 83. And so is Colorado the big way. Colorado is also 83 the big way, who just won it. Small way, 38. They're the 38th state. But there you have it. Your sports are a joke. Your president's a joke. Your news is a joke. You know what's not a joke? This channel. A lot of people think it is, but it's not. All right, Truth Seeker, until next time.